Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, I'm going to show you how to sharpen a plane blade on a power sharpening system. Well, for years I've had a Veritas MKII power sharpening system, and I've used it for a lot of things, from chisels to plane blades, etc., etc., knives, lathe chisels. And throughout the time, my sharpening has evolved, and I went into water stones, and I've got all kinds of things, jigs that sharpen my lathe chisels. So I have a wide variety of ways that I sharpen. And the way this video came about is I wanted to use my power sharpening system, but I hadn't used it in a while. So instead of going through the manual and just refreshing my mind, I hit Google and did a search, and lo and behold, there wasn't a single video on this anywhere to be found. So I thought, if I'm searching for it, maybe somebody else might be. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to walk you through the basics of how this system works, and as well, we're going to go through the process of sharpening a plane blade. Well, the power sharpening system is actually a fairly simple one here, and the way it works is it runs with these flattened intrude discs. This one here being 4 millimeters thick, and this one here being 3 millimeters. And on the 4 millimeter disc, the top has a 80 grit sandpaper disc on it, and that is used for the rough grinding of the bevel. If you need to change the bevel, or if there's damage to your chisel or your plane blade, this would be the side that you would use for that. And then the opposite side is actually, it's at 100 microns, and I just had to read that because there's so many numbers in my head I'm not remembering them all. But this here would be to kind of refresh the angle. If you had a 30-degree chisel that was beveled at 30 degrees, and you've already ground it on here, but you're just coming back for a touch-up later on, and there's no damage, there's no change to the grind, well, you would just hit it with this 100 micron disc on the 4 millimeter disc. And where this system is a little different is then now you've got this 3 millimeter disc. And if the tool rest is sitting at a constant level and you have your tool resting on the 4 millimeter disc and you do your grind, if you put a 3 millimeter disc now, you change that angle ever so slightly, and that's what this does in order to create the micro bevel. This one here, of course, has a 40 micron grit on one side and a 9 micron on the other. The 40 micron is used solely for lapping. And for those of you who don't know what lapping is or haven't seen my Waterstone video, lapping is the process of completely flattening the back of that chisel or plane blade or whatever it is that you're sharpening. And for that you use the 40 micron side of the 3 mil disc. Once you're doing the micro bevel, that's when you kick into this 9 micron. It's really fairly simple. So let's take a look at the actual machine itself. So here we have the machine, and really the only adjustments on this machine for calibrating is making sure that on the inside of this unit that the drive belt and the pulley for this disc are flat and parallel to each other. That's the one adjustment when you first assemble the unit. But the important adjustment for the machine is this tool rest right here. And what you really need, and you got to be sure of this, is that this tool rest is running exactly parallel to this plate. And as long as those two are parallel, you get a nice straight grind at 90 degrees on your plane blades and very, very repeatable results. So I'm going to show you how to go ahead and grind this, this plane blade, but I just want to point out the adjustments on this. It's adjustable in increments of 5 degrees on this tool rest. And I'll just show you a photo here of the markings, the tool markings here on the back for reading the degrees. And there it is right there. You can see, very easy to read, and it has positive stops that click in at each one of the 5 degrees. And once you get it to the degree that you want, you just tighten up your little set knob there and you're ready to go. So for this particular one, I just clicked it into 35 by accident, but we're going to click it into 30 degrees, and that will be the primary bevel for our plane blade. Now you want to keep in mind that you're not limited to 5-degree increments. You can stop it anywhere along in that and tighten it down, but if that's a repeatable angle for you, let's say 38, I don't know, I'm just throwing a number out there, then once you get it clamped down, get yourself a little thin Sharpie or a scratch-all or something and just mark it on your tool rest so that you can get that repeatable result again. So here we are, and first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set up the plane blade into the tool holder. So what we have here on the bench at this point in time is the jig that they provide for you to set up your blade into your tool holder. And this here, this is your tool holder. I'll just, let me just show you a picture of the jig. There it is right there. And it's a fairly simple jig. I'm going to show you how that works. And this here is the tool holder. And there you go. So the way that this works now is you've got your plane blade and you want to place it into your tool holder so that these little arms point down. As well, there is some stops on the side right in here that will hold your plane blade square to the side of the whole assembly. That way it's sitting square in there, you're grinding it square. So once you get that sat in there, just kind of loosely tuck it in there so it's not flopping all over the place. The next thing you want to do is this jig has this rounded edge, and these little arms sit on that rounded edge. It's to mimic the tool rest here at this in this instant. So what you want to do is you want to sit this on your tool rest, loosen it off so that you can move your blade, and the blade goes into this little crevice here up against this little fence. You just push it in tight to the fence, just like that. Make sure you're right over against the far wall of the blade holder so that you're getting it in there square, and then tighten up your set knobs. And just like that, you're set up in the tool holder. And you just want to check, flip it over, and just make sure that you're flush against the side edge there that's going to hold it square. So just give that another little finger tight crank there, and now we can head over to the grinder or to the sharpening system itself. So just like with sharpening any chisel or plane blade, if you haven't done it before and it's new out of the box, you're going to need to lap the back. And this thing really does a great job of giving a mirror finish and flattening the back of that blade really well. So as I had said in the very first segment, or maybe it was the second segment, the 40 micron plate or disc is used for lapping. So all you do is you place your 40 micron disc in here. This is on the 3mm disc, face up with the 40 micron, and it comes with this little brass thumb screw, and you just tighten it like that. That's it. That now is ready to go for lapping. So when you're ready to lap the chisel, or in this case our plane blade, what you want to do is you want to turn the system on and bevel side up. So you're going the opposite side of the bevel here. Just gently lay it onto this 40 micron disc, and you just kind of want to work the back of the blade to get it so that it's lapping it and getting it sharp, or sorry, shiny. If it's a brand new blade, you'll be able to tell when it's lapped, of course, because there won't be any of the original grind marks left on the actual blade itself. So we'll just put that on there. I'm just going to give it a little run through, and with that, this blade is lapped. And you can just see there, when you get the reflection, that the last kind of 1/4 inch is lapped on that blade, that it's nice and shiny. And with that, we can shut this off now, wait for it to stop spinning, remove your center hold down, and remove your disc. You now want to get the 80 grit disc, which is on the 4mm plate, and install it in the sharpening system. So we have the 4mm disc put in, and it's the same process as putting the 3mm one in. It's a simple little put it in and tighten it, and away you go. And we set our tool rest here to grind a 30-degree bevel, and I'll just show you that picture one more time here, just to clarify something. There it is. You read the angle that you're going to be grinding by the lowest visible number that's on that scale. So in this case, the number right at the bottom is 30, so that's what we're grinding. So all you do, this is so simple, it's not even funny. These little wings that I showed you earlier ride on this tool rest. You want to turn on your sharpening system, and you want it, it's rotating this way. So you want to have your blade into the stone or into the sharpening disc with the sandpaper going against or into the plane blade. And all you want to do is just touch it onto the plane blade and just move it side to side. Be careful not to hit this center brass knob while you're sharpening it. It's just a light feather touch. It will do a very nice job of grinding this down. And every once in a while, just sort of check and see how your progress is going. I can see that, I'll just show you this here, the old grind is over here, and you can see that if that was properly ground in the first place, this would be already ground straight across, but I'm only grinding on this side and on this. That tells me that this original grind was crooked, hence the reason why I'm redoing this. But you just continue to work this blade until you get a nice even grind all the way across. Well, we've got a nice new grind all the way across there, and just to finish it off, what I'd like to do is, like I said, we've got the 80 grit on this one side, which is just a rough grind. We've got the 100 micron on the opposite side of the 4mm, and we just want to turn it on, and just as we just finished doing with the 80 grit, you just want to go at it for a few passes with the 100 micron just to clean it up and smooth it out and give it a nice clean bevel on the end of this plane blade. Now we've got that cleaned up and it looks really good. We're now going to switch to the 3mm disc. We're going to put the 40 micron back on, and what we want to do with this here is just turn it on and just touch the back of this plane blade. I've got a little tiny burr there from the grinding of the 80 grit and the 100 micron. So we just want to touch it on there and just take away that burr. And that burr is completely gone. And now what we'd like to do is take this 40 micron disc and flip it over, and on the other side is the 9 micron, and this is where the micro bevel comes in. And like I said to you before, because they've changed the distance that this has to tilt down by 1 millimeter, that's how you get your micro bevel. And it's just as simple as running it on this 9 micron. You don't need to do it for long, 1 to 3 seconds. Just put it on there and make sure that it's evenly all the way across. And I'm missing a little bit on the right side there, so that's just a matter of user error and applying uneven pressure, and that's something that you overcome with practice. And with that there, we've got a nice micro bevel on this plane. Let me just show you that. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a nice little micro bevel right at the end of that. So I guess now we can just go ahead and test our blade in the plane and see how we do. So we've got the blade sharpened, honed, and all that jazz like I just showed you earlier, and you guys will recognize this as the one that I refurbed there a couple weeks ago, my plane restore. But I just want to show you now that we've got this plane tuned up, and that blade has been redone with that sharpening system, just how beautiful this thing works. And I mean, it's just a fantastic way to sharpen these blades. Look at the way these chips are coming out. That is, for the type of plane that is and the quality of the iron that is in this, which is not a high quality, the sharpness of that blade with the lapping and the way it's set up in the plane, this is spectacular. And there you have it. The MKII Power Sharpening System by Veritas. Guys, I've had this for a while. It does a great job. It really does. And I'm not promoting that particular product. This isn't a review. It's nothing like that. The only reason I produced the video this week is because I personally couldn't find a video for it online, and I thought that people out there would find it useful if they were searching for it. So guys, if you have one of these, and blow the dust off it and give it a try. If you're looking for a power sharpening system, this might be one that you may want to look into. But there are other models out there that are equally as good. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you again next week with yet another woodworking video.